16. They all teamed up for a fantastic effort in the Motul 6 Hour held here in November last year, and Mitchell's wanting to have more of a go of it. Damon, the younger brother, he's now given up moto, but Mitchell's still doing a bit of motocross, so really having a taste of doing both sides of the sport. It's the second to fastest qualifier at Summercross back in Whakatane on the 28th of December late last year, and it's certainly still a lot to attain in motocross, so well done to Mitchell. And here he is having his New Zealand Superbike Road Racing Championship debut. Mitchell Rees out there, and already 19 points as he scored 6, 6 and 7 so far here this weekend, so well done. 6 yesterday, 6 then and again today, so he's picked it up to 7. Could he even go better than that and finish up on the song? He won't move up any further in the overall points, but still an outstanding contribution as the 12th fastest in New Zealand Superbike Road Racing, and a man who's never even raced it before. That is absolutely outstanding. How many other riders have joined New Zealand Road Racing and started straight in at Superbike? So Spider, think about that. Mitchell Rees, his first ever New Zealand Championship Road Race meeting, and it's straight into Superbike. So there you go. That's a point to be credited with. Not starting in 250s or lightweights or 600s, Superbikes. Well done.
No, and didn't he do the 6 hours with David? And he rode his 1,000 as well. I think that's what happened. They had the 6 hours just before Christmas here, and I think Mitchell rode the 1,000. And Damon rode the 600 and Dad rode the 1,000 as well. So yeah, it's great. There's a great future in him. He's done a lot of motocross over the years, as his brother Damon, and no doubt Tony has over the years. But the Rees family, historical wins. I know at Wanganui last year when he won the year before, sorry, when he won the Robert Old Memorial Race, Guy Martin was looking at the trophy and saw Tony T. Rees further down the thing. He says, "Oh, is this your father?" And he said, "No, it's that long since he's won those 2 big races." Of course, won again. That is the ability of Tony Rees. Went down to the Vermont Road Challenge and dominated down there this year as well. And I think it was his Damon's first road race there around the Invercargill New Street Circuit. So Superbike action out there. Scotty Moyer had a DNF in the last race that we saw puff and smoke out of the back of the right. He's got a lot of height, and right now is hunting down Sloan Frost as they go across the start finish line. It still is Frost in first position. In second position, hang on, we've got to refresh our screen. We've got the wrong screen up there. So Sloan Frost, Scotty Moyer, Andrew Stroud, Alistair Hugenboosum, Tony Rees, Jake Lewis, John Ross, Ray Clee, James Hugenboosum, Toby Summers. That's Toby in 10th place with Dylan Telfer behind him in 11th on the Superstock. I saw Dylan made a mistake coming into the Pepsi Max corner and run it right upright, right to the outside edge of the track, and dropped a lot of places there because he has been as fast as 6th on the track overall here at the weekend. And remember, that's on a Superstock machine. So there he is coming out of the dipper, Dylan Telfer on that beautiful sounding V4 with Toby Summers hunting him down. Toby already crowned the New Zealand Superstock champion this year, and a great ride for Toby. I thought he'd stick with the 600s because he was oh so quick. He was the only man that could spoil the Hugenboosum show last year in the 600 class when he got some wins, I think, at Timaru and Taupo. But he elected to go up into the Superstock 1000. Initially bought Hayden Fitzgerald old GSXR 1000, and then along came this 2016 Kawasaki ZX10. So the Barnes Jenkins Insurance got in behind him and put him on the track, as well as Summers Plumbers and the Mad Love Media. His lovely wife Kirsten Sudbury running the Mad Love Media company and putting her support both physically and mentally and financially in behind him. But Sloane's got a bit of a break, and I'll tell you what, Scotty Moyer's in a precarious position there in second place because he's got Andrew Stroud right behind him, and we've got Alistair Hugenboosum, who had a sensational last lap in the last race in the Superbikes, was up there in second but put in a blistering final lap. I honestly think if there was one more lap in that race that Alistair Hugenboosum would have pipped Sloan Frost for a win and his first ever Superbike win. But right now, Alistair's sitting there in a fourth spot. Here comes Andrew Stroud up on the inside. Can he do it? He dives up on the inside and, yeah, gets it almost easily. Scotty Moyer is put back to third place. So Andrew Stroud is second in the New Zealand Superbike Championship, 9 times former winner of the Superbike Championship. In fact, Scotty Moyer come back in him out of that corner, but Andrew Stroud got in underneath. And that's all played into the hands of Alistair Hugenboozem, because he's only 2 bike lengths behind in 4th place as they go into the Pepsi Mac corner. TSS Red Baron, it was good to see Stu, the owner of TSS, Stuart Rodwell and Siobhan Rodwell, up here to see their sponsored rider clinch the New Zealand Superbike title. So Sloane doesn't need any points at the moment. It's all about just having some fun. Nobody really needs too many points to shuffle around, but Andrew Stroud's in there in 2nd place. I think that Honda's moved up into 3rd place. In fact, it is. It's Alistair Hugenboozem right on the tail of Andrew Stroud. Scotty Moyer's slipped back into 4th, so a hard-charging Scotty Moyer. Don't know what went wrong there, but certainly there is Sloane Frost, who's got a couple of 100 metres on the other 2 packs. Stroud the wide line. Hugenboozem tries up on the inside, but settles in to take that longer wide line there, get a bit more corner speed coming out there. This is a 15-lap race. We're already a third of the way through, 10 laps to go, and the fastest man on the track is Alistair Hugenboozem. A 103.779, a 103.77 now, and I was just looking out for that lap record sheet of paper. It's on the ground. So Superbike lap record by Tony Rees, a 103.732, a 103.779 by Alistair Hugenboozem. Can he do it? It's going to be a long road to hoe to get in 2nd place past Andrew Stroud. Sloane Frost has got about 120 metres, but it only needs a small mistake by Sloane Frost. There's the battle on for the Superstock 1000 class, and it is now Toby Summers has gone ahead of young Dylan Telford from the Kapiti Coast. So Sloane, not sure about that, but Toby's gone in there. They're beating up on behind some other Superbikes. So here we go. The lead bike disappears out of sight. Those 3 other bikes. Scotty Moyer's back on the pace. Scotty Moyer slipped back to 4th. He's now hunting down 3rd place, which is Alistair Hugenboozem.
I tell you what, Spider, we've got a great race going on here at the moment between Dylan Telford and Toby Summers. They are about half a bike length apart going down in there, and they're battling it amongst Superbikes. So there's 4 bikes in that next room. In fact, make it 5. They've gone in through Hamilton Ashvelts at the moment. 5 riders there, and you've got Toby Summers, and look out for Dylan Telford. He's along there with him as well to go racing, so nice to watch. So check it out, 22 and 9 through there, so look out to Toby and Dylan. Toby at the moment, can he get that advantage? So look out for Toby, and here's Toby. He's down on the inside, got it at the moment. So Toby Summers over Dylan Telford. Fine battle going on, but I tell you what, it was a little bit closer, just 3/4 of a lap ago, so great work out there. As we can see there, the change for that 2nd place, Andrew Stroud for the 2nd, great work. As we look out to Al Hugenboozem, Scott Moyer, Tony Rees, Jake Lewis back behind him in the traffic, so good work. And here we go again. And they've gone past those Superbikes, so they don't necessarily get as good a start as the Superbikes off the line because they're only a stock bike. But I tell you what, between Dylan Telford and the Barnes Jenkins Insurance Brokers bike of Toby Summers, a magnificent performance that those 2 riders just continually to fight it out lap after lap. So great work out there in the fight for the Superstock, a subset of super bike racing, still in the hands of the Fujitsu Red Baron Suzuki of Sloane Frost, just making sure that he finishes off in emphatic style, Spider Stables.
Oh, definitely. A bit of a lonely ride there for Tony Rees there in 5th place, but Tony already set a lap record this weekend, and we're looking at maybe this lap record will be better by Alistair Hugenboozem. The lap record is Tony Rees, a 103.732. We've seen a 103.779 out of Alistair Hugenboozem. He's dropped into the mid-4s. But right now, Sloane Frost, a 104.263, a 104.252 for Andrew Stroud, and a 104.729. Scotty Moyer's quicker with a 104.690 there, sitting on the track in 4th place. There's the lovely BMW, the M1 Motorsport Valvoline-sponsored bike with brother James, brother of Alistair Hugenboozem. James there punting that away, getting faster and faster as the season goes on. Frost comes out of the Pepsi Max corner. Al Hugenboozem is hunting down Andrew Stroud. He's got to find a way through. Remember, 9 times New Zealand Superbike champion Andrew Stroud really crashes. Had a massive crash here on Friday. The bike was absolutely destroyed. They got it back out there, and Andrew Stroud took a race win this weekend, and in his usual style, and he followed up, backed up his race win when he had it in Invercargill earlier on in the Superbike Championship. So here we go. Sloane Frost goes through. I think we've got 7 laps to go. Stroud, Hugenboozem, Scotty Moyer, Tony Rees, and then we've got Jacob Lewis on the 29 machine. We're looking out a bit further. Dylan Telford has broken free from the bike of Toby Summers. Toby Summers, an absolute gentleman around the back. A bit of a laugh to have a cup of tea with later on too. We're going to have a beer with him later on and congratulate him on his season. And certainly is a pleasure to have around the track. And it's been a great season. I don't normally enjoy commentating. You just sort of go into a zone and just put out the goods. But this year I've enjoyed every meeting. It's been a tough season with Sean Harris going down and is now recovering in the acquired brain injury unit in Porirua. Sean will get back to some sort of normality in a while, but it'll be a long while. Just on that note, there is we all know about his Milo exploits where he tried to buy a lot of Milo and make some money out of it. Well, he's unable to do that at the moment. So that Milo is on Tape Me, and the family are going to put the money into the Cam Jones and stuff. So you might not want the Milo. Buy it anyway, support the Cam Jones Trust, and then you can give it away to another place as well if you want to give it away to a food bank or something else like that. So it's been tough this season, but there it is. We've got them across back markers as well. Sloane Frost is up on the back markers, I think, and under threat now. Toby Summers, Alistair Hugenboozem is starting to reel in. Scotty Moore is starting to reel in Alka Hugenboozem. Sloane Frost goes through the dipper there. We've got about 6 laps to go. Stroud's got a break on that 3rd and 4th place. Moyer's finding his 2nd win as he drives that Suzuki out the outside, and they're almost side by side going down the centre straight. He tucks in behind the Honda, the number 43 machine, but Suzuki marginally quick around this long sweeper. I think gets a drive on the front straight. There is the TSS Red Baron machine. Sloane Frost looking for another emphatic victory. Number 10, English Trout. And there it is. Scotty Moyer goes round the outside of Alistair Hugenboozem. So we're going to have a look at the fastest lap time there. Tony Rees goes through on the number 11 machine. Lap times wise, who was the quickest? It's still Alistair Hugenboozem, the fastest lap of the race. Alistair Hugenboozem, the fastest lap of the race. So he's backed off into the 6s. The top 2 bikes are in the 104s. 3rd bike on the track's in the 105s. And Alistair Hugenboozem's slipped back in the 106s. Whether he's getting tired or whether it's tired to degradation, but certainly Scott Moyer putting on a great show. Got to take my hat off too to Alistair Hugenboozem. Had a massive crash at Timaru about 3 seasons ago and virtually lost the use of his arm. He had what we call a dead arm for a wee while. He's had a bit of nerve damage. How he came back from that, I don't know. And how he came back that enough to push a superbike round after winning the New Zealand 600 Superbike Sport Champion last year. I've got to take my hat off to the man. But I've already taken that off to Cam Hudson earlier on. So the battle's on there for 3rd and 4th place. Moyer has the break. Moyer has the break at the moment. There's still Sloane Frost there. Out in the front. Sewing is where he's been most of the season. He said he didn't have a dream run at Cheratonga. He reckoned it was a tyre selection thing. Well, he come here and got pushed around by the other guys, but he has well-deservedly won the New Zealand Superbike Championship and now out just riding front. There goes Ray Clear, man we haven't talked about too much during the season. Sort of in midfield on the 36 machine. Great to see Ray out. A very, very capable mechanic and tuned a lot of bikes for Suzuki New Zealand. So the battle is on for 3rd place. They're coming across the back marker. It still is Scotty Moyer with Hugenboozem in behind. I don't think that back marker will affect them. Neil Ritchie.
No, it doesn't appear to be, and Protector Insurance, Superbike, Superstock Racing, and what a show with Sloane Frost out there on the Fujitsu TSS Red Baron Suzuki. Great performance courtesy of MC2 Racing as well. Going to take a bow to Suzuki coming together with all of their best people to get the best riders on the best bikes. I've seen it with Todd Waters and Brad Goodrich and Motocross, and now here it is, of course, with Sloane Frost and Daniel Medham as well. Daniel outside of that team, but still supported by Suzuki. So bring it home still with Yellow Magic. Long domination of New Zealand moto and road racing tracks. So well done, Suzuki. Protector Insurance Superbikes updates 3, and the Sloane Frost, the outstanding performance by Sloane. just sort of had a little bit of a hiccup late in the championship. He'd certainly dominated the earlier events, and we said it was his to lose right from round number 1. He had a bit of a wobble, but I tell you what, he's come back with strength. And look at this for a commanding ride. Just what you want to see from a man. Yesterday's ride, I'm sure he wasn't happy with, but on the other hand, doing all the right things. There's no way he's wanted to have jeopardised his championship. So to see him now here leading by this kind of margin is great. And the white flag, everybody. So keen to look out for it as we come up and over the top. And there it goes, the number 3, and 1 lap to go. Championship already won. Andrew Stroud into that second place. Outstanding contribution. Second place, Scott Moyer. Al Hugenboozem, just because Scott went past Al before. Obviously, Al's got other ideas. The second place he achieved in that previous TT race was absolutely outstanding. He's been, for me, the rider of this event so far today. So, Protector Insurance, hot shot, and the number 43 of Alistair Hugenboozem really come to grips with the Triple R Superbike race team, Honda CBR 1000RR. A young man from Christchurch, outstanding ride, so well done to Alistair. Of course, he got some Superbike experience just last year, overseas experience last year. Now here he is with the Superbike ride. Remembering brother James, what a start he had to the championship last year as well. Unfortunately, couldn't take it all the way to the number 1 position, but still a quality podium for him. And James, of course, has made it now with the Valvoline BMW RWR Fleet Maintenance Bridgestone Showy Arcade Chain, Oxford Leathers, Colin Davis, Penalmeters update. So well done. There's the checkered flag. There we go. Nicely done. Andrew Stroud for the second. That's the overall. And, oh, Scott Moyer to hold it. But I still think we're going to have that lap record with, the race fastest time with Al Hugenboozem. And Scott Moyer gets the 3rd place. What's that done to the points? I don't think too much. I think we're going to see, of course, 1st and 2nd across the line have been our 1st and 2nd overall. And although John Ross, not an outstanding day by John standards, back in 13th place, he too doing the good work earlier in the championship. A day to forget, I'm sure, in his own terms, but he has come through by being number 3 NZ. Remembering, of course, the number 3 NZ last year was Sloane Frost, with the number 2 of Dennis Charlotte, and the number 1, of course, which they both went, Jaden Hessen, who withdrew from the championship racing. So with 1 and 2 gone, it was up to number 3 to become number 1, which is exactly what has happened. So our new Superbike road racing champion. So 3 different champions in the last 3 years. In fact, of course, Dennis won 2 in a row in there. So if you put 4 years together, and Suzuki all the way. Protector Insurance, Superbike, Protector Insurance. Remembering custom made.